second to go for the win. He got it. The Cougars win it. Number one remains number one. Cougars reset. Jackson again finds it. And the Houston Cougars go from the first four out to the Sweet 16.
Stick it in your pipe and smoke it, baby.
Yes! Welcome to the Scott Holland Podcast. Doing something a little bit different tonight, as you probably figured out by the description of this episode. Tonight is going to be us talking to Adamovic, the new head coach of the Cougar women's tennis program, a program we have not had the head coach on before. This is fairly new for her. Kat, she was hired in the last month or so, just getting on the job, but I challenge you to listen to this interview and not be fired up about this program, even if you're somebody who you're more of a football men's basketball fan, but you're at least curious enough about it. You want to hear a U of H head coach interview that you tuned in this episode. So for that, I'm really appreciative. Don't take that for granted. Don't turn anyone away who is interested in this, but would encourage you to listen to this entirely. And again, not get fired up about the future of this program. Somebody who understands the challenges, understands what needs to be done here, but still approaches it with optimism, still approaches this program, not just as a place where we could do better than the bare minimum, but that we can long-term be successful and use the things that are great about Houston to its advantages. I've gotten certainly more into racket sports in the last year or so, picked up tennis and another racket sport, primarily the other one, but that got me back into tennis more broadly, got back more into covering that team in this past season. It was a tough first season in the Big 12, but Kat Adamovic is somebody who, I think we said it when we first talked about her hiring, checks all the boxes, somebody who certainly after this interview couldn't be more fired up about being the newest head coach at the University of Houston. Was, I think, a great hiring decision. Obviously, wins and losses determine a lot of things in this life, is what you were judged on as a coach, but I certainly, my confidence was already very high in the hire. I was already very excited about what she could do here, and it has certainly ballooned drastically since we talked to Kat. Really excited for you to hear this. Really excited for you to, I think, maybe join me in getting more into Cougar tennis. And believe me, watch the space. We have some more stuff when it comes to this program here as well, but not going to talk any further. Not going to make you listen to my voice that much longer. Please, 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 if you don't do so already, support our friends, our sponsors at Charlie Hustle, charliehustle.com, makers of incredibly comfortable wearables. Like me or hate me, you could use my promo code PAWD15, PAWD15, to save 50% on an order of fantastic Cougar wearables, shirts, even though it's not the season for these clothes. Also hoodies and crew necks as well. Quarter zips if you're a golfer. So support our friends at Charlie Hustle, charliehustle.com. Use that promo code PAWD15 and listen to this fantastic interview we just did with new Cougar women's tennis head coach Kat Adamovic. All right, we're very excited to be welcoming tonight to the Scott and Holland Podcast for the first time a multi-time conference championship winning player and coach, the newly named head coach of your Houston Cougar tennis program, Kat Adamovic. Welcome to the Scott and Holland Podcast.
Thank you guys for having me.
So I'll start it off here. What were the biggest reasons the head coaching position at the University of Houston appealed to you?
It's really the opportunity. I mean, one of big driving points was the Big 12 conference, right? I played in the Big 12. I always loved this conference, and that was definitely one of the things that drove me for this position. But then once I started the interview process and kind of saw the potential and vision that really the department has for the future of this program, it kind of aligned with everything that I want to do as a coach, and it really felt like a great opportunity for me.
So going back to your most recent stop at Grand Canyon, you used your first head coaching job, spent 2 years there. Now having kind of the perspective of officially, I guess, looking back on your 2-year run there, what were some of the big things that you learned from the coaches that you played and worked under prior to that helped you be so successful right away in that job?
It comes down to kind of knowing who you are as a coach and as a person, and really staying true to that, right? Not having the title behind your name change how you go about things and change your values. And we in this position, when it comes to it comes with a lot of pressure, right? As a head coach in any sport, you have a lot of pressure, a lot of expectation, and sometimes you let that impact your decisions and how you go about your things. And For me, I was very lucky that, as a player, I had already experienced a lot of pressure. That kind of, I always enjoy that. And then when I got into coaching, I had great mentorship. Um, I was part of some schools that really showed me how I should do things and how I should not really do things. And when I came to Grand Canyon that first year, especially the first semester, I would say was kind of challenging, being a young head coach, stepping into a role and, having to build really kind of from the scratch at Grand Canyon as well. Um, that first semester really spent time kind of developing my philosophy, how I want to run the program. And once I figured that out, it kind of went smooth. It was a smooth ride from there. But it was really kind of just staying true to yourself and knowing your values and not letting any external factors really change how you why you do this. And it's players comes first, and people come first, not really players. People come first, and yeah. Really, that was my goal when I came to Grand Canyon. And second year, once I set that in place and set the culture in place, this was one of the past year was really the time, like the year that I enjoyed the most coaching and enjoyed the college tennis the most. So, yeah.
So, you talked about people being first, and that really being the most important thing in your players being first for you. We've seen multiple players commit to the U of H program recently who played for you previously. What can you tell all the Cougar fans listening, watching this on the various channels about the newest players who will be joining this program?
Oh, I'm so excited for Houston fans to meet this group of players that are coming in. I mean, we have players coming in from all over the world and with different backgrounds and different style of play. And but I can tell one thing, that it is fun to watch this group. I had so much fun in the last year to watch them compete and the way they go about their things on court and off the court. It's really great group of players, on and off the court, great student athletes, and they bring so much passion. All four of them, they're coming, here. They bring so much passion. They're so competitive, and I'm really excited for Houston fan base to kind of come and meet, because it's going to be a brand new culture, brand new team, and these players bring a lot of fire. They're going to bring a lot of fire to this program, and I'm so excited that they chose to come here and commit here. And it's really a testament to what we build at Grand Canyon, that they decided to follow the culture and come here. None of them really visited Houston or anything like that, so it's exciting, and I'm so happy for them, that they chose to come here, and also for the Houston fan base to really see them and watch them play and compete. It's gonna be a fun year.
To go back to your playing days for a bit here, I think I said at the top, if listeners don't know, though, you were a multi-time Big 12 champion while playing for the Oklahoma State program. Obviously, the teams in the league are a little different now, but how do you think you can use that really strong experience you have as a Big 12 tennis player now that you're kind of a different spot now as the coach of a Big 12 program?
Yeah, I think I don't. It's different. Things will change. I mean, I've played now, what, 6, 7 years ago. Obviously, college athletics is changing every day, really. So a lot of things are different, but actually, a lot of coaches stay the same, really, from back when I played to now. Majority, I would say, are the same in Big 12. But it's I always say my experience from player to coach. The only thing that I'm taking from that is really, I know from a player perspective what it takes to be successful, right? Like the work, the dedication, the sacrifice that you got to make to really play it at the ultimate level of college, like highest level of college athletics. But as a coach, it's completely different, right? Coaching in Big 12 now, we have Oklahoma State, that's number one team in the country, and um, Texas and Oklahoma left, but I mean, it's going to be one of the best conferences, if not the best conference after SEC in the country. So it's going to be challenging, and I I will need to raise my level of coaching and continue learning and developing as a coach alongside with my players. And I'm excited for the challenge. And it's we'll see. I mean, Big 12, it's fun. I enjoy representing Big 12 as a player, and I'm going to continue enjoying representing it as a head coach.
So you talk about what a tough conference the Big 12 is, and Houston fans learned that firsthand this last year as Houston didn't win any games in the Big 12. So obviously a lot of the roster turnover is going to be new players and everything like that. But understanding that this is kind of year one and what is going to be a multi-year process of building something at Houston. What do you think kind of are some fair expectations for year one?
I mean, the expectation is, I always say the standard is kind of right now we are building from the scratch, right? We cannot really be much worse than what it has been, to be honest, right? Like they haven't won a match, so I'm not chasing for the first win in Big 12, right? Like I'm chasing, let's see how far we can go in Big 12 this year. I think I believe we're gonna have the team that can, do well in Big 12. And I don't want to limit ourselves to what we can or cannot do, because if you have the right culture set and if you have 110% buy-in from the players and the staff and the athletic department, you can do great things. So even though it's a year one, I don't want to say, oh, like we want to get that first win. Obviously, want to get first win, but we also want to get 10 more wins, right? So it's definitely going to be challenging. I'm locking up the schedule this week, and every team that we're going to play is going to be ranked within top 6 in the country, right? So every time you step on that court, you're playing against the best teams. But I think the players that are coming, they're really excited for that. They're excited to be able to compete against the best in the country, and I'm excited to coach against the best in the country. And we're gonna use this fall and summer to prepare us for the spring. And we'll need a little bit of luck. Hopefully, we don't have any injuries or anything like that. And I'm excited to see how far we can go this year. I think we can go much further than a few wins here and there. So.
That's super exciting to hear as a Cougar fan. But you kind of talked about building the program up from scratch, and that's kind of where we're starting. Do you think Houston's tennis facilities are currently where they need to be for you to achieve your goals at U of H? And what, if anything, did the administration kind of tell you during the hiring process about any future plans to improve those facilities?
Absolutely. I mean, it's our facility is behind when you compare to the rest of the Big 12, right? We don't have a multi-million facility and locker rooms, but with where University of Houston is, and I think athletic department, they have a very clear vision of where they want to be, and it might take us, a few years to get there, but the vision is clear. And that is why I'm here, because they're not just looking to be mediocre in Big 12. They want to be at the top of the Big 12 in everything they do, and that's something that aligns with my vision as a head coach coming into here. And you don't build a championship team overnight. I always say, it takes the village, and department and is behind us that will help us, and it starts with me, right? It starts with the head coach kind of getting out there, and I can tell you that the tennis program has no foundation when it comes to alumni base or involving alumni and donors. In the past, that's non-existent. So when I say I'm starting from the scratch, I'm not just saying building the team. I mean building every single relationship out there with the Houston community when it comes to alumni and donors and students and bringing people and fans. So, and it starts with me. If we want to compete in the Big 12 and want to play for the championships, we will need a better facility. That's for sure. And it's going to take time to build those relationships, and Houston will support me and the tennis program. I'm 100% confident in that.
I've always believed, as somebody who grew up in the area, that Houston, being such a diverse and international city, would really have I think would eventually really be a positive asset for U of H tennis, even if, like you said, you're starting from scratch in a lot of ways. Fully agree with you as an outsider on that one. No better than me. How do you think the fact that your program is located in such a diverse and international city like Houston, how do you think that will help with your future recruiting and roster building this program?
Yeah, I mean, our main focus will be recruiting international players from really all over the world. Right now, 7 players are international players. And, coming to Houston, I kind of knew that it's a very international and diverse city, great connections with 2 big airports, great for visits. There's a lot of things to do, um, easy to travel, easy to come in and get out. So, um, Houston as a city has so much to offer. University of Houston has so much to offer. And I think, college tennis being such an international sport, having that kind of behind us that we can really sell to those future student athletes will help us a lot. Um, I think this first year, we were lucky that the transfer portal is the way it is right now. So when the new head coach comes in, it's a little bit easier to rebuild it. It wasn't like that in the past, but we're gonna continue utilizing transfer portal as much as we can. Especially right now, it's probably the number one player in the college athletics, and kind of getting outside and looking for these new players to come in from really all over the world. I'm not putting, like I said, I'm not putting any limitation, and Houston as a city will just help us with that, just from the standpoint of really everything that it has to offer.
So you talk about recruiting players internationally, but of course you were once on the other side of that equation as you played your junior tennis in Serbia before coming to play collegiately at Oklahoma State. What can you tell us about what your path was like? What did that look like for you to come stateside?
Oh, my path. I mean, it was kind of a last minute decision really to come to college. I played professionally. I played junior tennis. I kind of moved all over the Europe a little bit, and it was a last minute decision. Head coach from Oklahoma State, he's still a head coach there, Chris Young. He kind of flew to Serbia. I was playing a tournament. He met with me and my dad, and I had some offers. I had my dream school. I had offer for my dream school, and he came down and met with me, spent a few days with me and my dad, and he told me what his vision was for Oklahoma State. At that time, Oklahoma State wasn't what Oklahoma State is right now, right? Um, I knew that he's bringing one more player, Victoria Lushkova, who was a top junior player in the world, and he wanted us to create a legacy, and we had the opportunity to do that at Oklahoma State, and that was something that I wanted out of my college career, right? I wanted to go somewhere and make the impact and leave the legacy. And I never visited Oklahoma State, never been to Stillwater before. A couple months later, I sat on an airplane and flew in Stillwater. And I can tell you, I would not change my college experience for anything. And there's no other city in this country I would change it for Stillwater for 5 years. But that's something that my experience as a player really taught me how special it is to go somewhere and really having an opportunity to leave the legacy and create something from the scratch. And we got there. I remember we were 70 something in the country, and in 3 years you're competing for the national championship against Stanford. So when you have right people and right culture and right support behind you, anything is possible. And that was the same thing that, kind of going back to the first question, what drove me to Houston is exactly the same opportunity, to create that legacy and make the history for University of Houston tennis program.
Well, last question for you here, Coach, and I will play the dumb tennis fan who wants to support the program
Right.
but doesn't know.
Not me. I was gonna say I have like 2 different clay court shoes in like various email inboxes. That's
So
Bobby. But
I will play this role, even though I just want to point out I was the only one to go to a tennis match last year.
It's
I'm
true.
just
He
saying
did.
I was the only one who did it.
We gotta change that. We gotta change that this year.
I live
Point
in
of
Dallas. I
information,
went to the one.
I live in Las Vegas. It's a little harder. Sorry.
Okay, forget it.
I'm just a bad fan, so shame on me.
No, but I'll play the role here. For those of us who maybe watch tennis, the majors, Wimbledon, the U.S. Open, things like that, but aren't super familiar with college team tennis, can you give us a breakdown of how a team tennis match works, how it's played, and how a team wins, and just kind of some of the basics, so anybody listening who's been inspired to follow the program knows what they're going to watch this upcoming season?
Absolutely. I would say if you love watching professional tennis, you'll like 1,000 more times watching college tennis, right? Because it's way more relaxing atmosphere. You can talk, you can walk, you can cheer. There are no strict rules on when you can cheer, how loud you can be, and etc. Right? So number one thing, the atmosphere is just awesome, which why I love college tennis. Second, we start matches with 3 doubles at the same time. Team has to win 2 out of 3 doubles to count as a 1 point, right? Once you finish with your doubles match, all 6 singles matches go at the same time, and whoever gets to 4 points wins the dual match. Every single match counts as a 1 point. So if you win doubles point, you need 3 more singles to win the whole match. So a lot going on. You will not be bored. As somebody who maybe never came to college tennis match before, come out, give it a try, because it's way different than what you think what you see on a TV and if you watch professional tennis, because it's loud, it's fun, and there is a lot going on. So I encourage all the Houston fans to give us a chance and come out this upcoming spring and just see for yourself if you like it. And I'm sure if you like college sports, and you will love watching college tennis.
It is our promise we will guilt Dustin down here at least a few different times to get out to a match this spring. Kat Adamovic, you've been absolutely fantastic. We're really excited for this new era of Cougar tennis. Thanks for taking a little bit of time every evening to join us tonight.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate you guys inviting me, and hopefully in a couple of months I can jump on here and we can talk about how great the season was.
So that's it for us this week. We've got some more things coming y'all's way in the coming weeks, including our slightly later than usual, but not absent Poskers, our annual look at the U of H athletics season. Some stuff looking around the Big 12 as well, maybe a little off-topic content for you during the true doldrums of the sports season this summer. So appreciate those of you that listened to this interview. Hope you're as fired up about Cougar tennis as the 3 of us are in the show, and we're excited to keep delivering you Cougar content over the summer. Stay cool, and as always, go Cougs.
All right. Go Cougs! Let's go!